The night was already destined to go down in K-pop history, Jin of BTS, performing solo at the Honda Center before a record-breaking crowd of over 18,000 fans. The atmosphere was electric. The emotions were overwhelming. But what truly caught the attention of fans around the world was the quiet figure seated in the VIP box. Bang Si-hyuk, the legendary founder of Big Hit Entertainment, now HYB, was seen watching the concert with a heavy, unreadable expression. No interviews, no statements, just his eyes fixed on the stage, on the artist he handpicked over a decade ago, standing alone in the spotlight. And then it happened. AS Jin performed his final song and slowly bowed to the crowd, voice trembling, eyes misty. Bang Si-hyuk stood up. No fanfare. No applause from those beside him. Just a single, slow standing ovation. He clapped. Once. Twice. Then placed both hands over his mouth. And when the camera panned ever so briefly across the VIP section, fans caught it, the unmistakable shimmer of tears in his eyes. It was a rare, deeply human moment from the notoriously private music executive. Later that night, staff members shared quiet whispers online. One HYB employee allegedly told a fan, "He didn't speak much after the show. Just said, that boy has become a man and the world finally sees it." The image of Bang PD watching from the shadows, witnessing Jin command the stage, joke with fans, sing his heart out, sparked a wildfire of emotion across social media. The phrase Bang PD cried trended in multiple countries. Armies posted tribute threads to Jin and Bang's long, complicated history, from the early trainee days when Jin struggled with self-doubt to the present, where he's now headlining solo shows that sell out in minutes. For years, Jin was seen as the underdog in BTS, the one with no prior musical training, the one who got the visual label more often than vocalist. But Bang Si-hyuk never saw him that way. In old behind-the-scenes clips, he often encouraged Jin, praising his growth and emotional delivery. Those moments now feel prophetic. After the concert, HYB declined to release an official statement. But insiders claim Bang Si-hyuk wrote Jin a short handwritten note left quietly in his dressing room. It read simply, "You found your voice. I've never been prouder." And just like that, fans were crying all over again. AS Jin continues his solo tour. Many are wondering if this was a turning point, not just in his career, but in the relationship between the man who discovered him and the artist he's become. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain. That night in Anaheim was more than just a concert. It was a full-circle moment. A silent goodbye. A proud father figure watching his brightest star shine alone for the very first time. And for a man like Bang Si-hyuk, who built an empire but rarely shows emotion, that single, tear-filled ovation said more than any press release ever could. As words spread about Bang Si-hyuk's reaction, fan communities around the world began dissecting every moment of the concert, not just for Jin's flawless vocals and stage charisma, but for what they now recognized as a turning point. A quiet moment that carried years of unspoken struggle, triumph, and unbreakable trust between two men who had walked through the fire of K-pop together. Some armies refer to it as the full circle scene. A trainee once doubted, a CEO once questioned, and now, no more questions. What made the moment even more poignant was the history that's rarely discussed in public. That Bang Si-hyuk personally chose Jin despite the fact that he had no experience in singing or dancing. Just a striking face, a natural presence, and an earnestness that didn't fit the usual K-pop mold. At the time, the decision was controversial even within the company. Some reportedly questioned Jin's place in the lineup, but Bang stood firm. He saw something in him. That something became the foundation for a decade of unexpected growth, not just for Jin, but for BTS as a whole. He never let go of Jin, one former Big Hit employee revealed anonymously. Even when others doubted Jin's potential, Bang PD kept him close. He always made time to check on his progress, not just as an idol, but as a person. It's those behind-the-scenes stories that hit hardest now, because Jin didn't rise to the top overnight. He was forged in slow, quiet consistency. He wasn't the fastest dancer or the flashiest vocalist, but his heart, his wit, his soulfulness, those became his weapons. His voice was the one you didn't expect to comfort you, until it did. That's why seeing Bang Si-hyuk visibly emotional during the Anaheim performance felt like watching a mentor finally breathe. Like he could finally say, he made it, and he did it his way. In fact, some fans even theorized that the Anaheim concert wasn't just Jin's moment of arrival. It may also have been Bang PD's symbolic handoff. The torch was no longer being carried by the founder who built the company, but by the artist who helped define IT. As the concert came to an end and fans lit up the arena with silver lights, some swear they saw Bang Si-hyuk lower his head and place a hand over his heart, a subtle gesture that said far more than words ever could. And maybe that's all we needed, because in that moment, the man who launched BTS and the man who once stood in its shadows were both bathed in the same light. 14. Discovering the spark, the other for finally becoming the flame. After the concert, as fans flooded social media with fan cams, tears, and hashtags, one quiet post stood out among the noise. A staff member from the HYB US division posted a photo of Jin backstage. No filter, no flash, just him sitting on a couch, towel around his neck, smiling softly with a handwritten note on his lap. The caption was cryptic, but fans instantly connected the dots. "You did it, Seokjin." And someone was watching every step. The note? Fans are convinced it was from Bang Si-hyuk, though neither Jin nor Bang publicly confirmed it. The emotional weight behind the image echoed louder than any interview. It wasn't just a post-show smile. It was the look of someone who had waited years to be seen, and finally was. Jin didn't address Bang Si-hyuk's attendance directly during the concert, but his closing remarks carried an unmistakable layer of gratitude. "I used to think I wasn't enough to stand here alone. But tonight you showed me I am. Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't." To longtime fans, those words were more than just sentimental. They were a message, not just to ARMY, but to the man who gave him the chance to begin this journey in the first place. One fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter, Bang PD's tearful standing ovation was the final stamp. Jin is no longer just a member of BTS. He is an artist in his own right, and Bang knew it before the rest of the world did. The bond between Bang Si-hyuk and Jin has always been subtle. No flashy splash, no public declarations, but it has been steady, loyal, and deeply transformative. It's the kind of connection that doesn't need to be broadcast, because it's been built through trust, trials, and time. Some speculate this may be Bang's final public appearance tied to any BTS member's solo activity. If that's true, Anaheim wasn't just a concert. It was a farewell, a full-circle reunion, a passing of the torch, wrapped in applause and sealed with a silent tear. But perhaps the most beautiful part of all this is that it was never about grand gestures. IT was about one man clapping, slowly, emotionally, as he watched his once insecure trainee command an entire arena of screaming fans, alone, and absolutely radiant. IT was about believing in someone before the world did, and living long enough to see that belief blossom into something unforgettable. And maybe that's the legacy that matters most. Not the awards, not the records, but the people we believed in when no one else did. Bang Si-hyuk believed in Jin, and now the world does too.